Hi, my name's Adam Seabridge. I'm a freelance Sitecore developer and consultant based in Manchester, and today I'm doing a video on installing Sitecore JSS. It should give you a bit of an overview of how the installation process works and how to verify everything works at the end. Okay, so if you go to the JSS docs at jss.sitecore.net, there is an overview of the installation process which we'll be using today for the demo. So the first thing to check is that we have a Sitecore license that has the JSS functionality included in it. Not all licenses do, so you need to check that. And we also need a copy of Sitecore 9 or 9 Update 1 installed. I've got a link on my blog to Sitecore 9 installation process, which I'll share as well. The next thing we need to do is download the packages from Sitecore. So there's a JSS server package and a JSS infrastructure package, and we need both those packages in order for JSS to work correctly and connect it up to Sitecore. So you just download those packages like any other package, and then we can just install them into Sitecore using the standard installation wizard. So the first one we install is the Sitecore JSS server package. And that basically provides the core kind of JSS services for JSS server to work. And then the next package we need to install is the infrastructure package. So the infrastructure package is what integrates with Sitecore Ship to actually deploy our JSS package into Sitecore. So it pushes the items along with the kind of manifest file, configuration and so forth into Sitecore using an update package via Sitecore Ship. So once we've got those two packages installed, we've got a little bit of configuration to do to go with them. So first of all, we've got a handler to add to our web config. So this registers a media handler. So you just put that into the handler section below the others in your web config. And the second thing we need to add to web config is a module, and this is the Sitecore Ship module. Again, that just goes in the web config. Alright, once we've done that, the next step is we need to create an API key. So in order to do this, we need to go into Sitecore. We need to go to the core database. So we're going to switch to the core database, and then we're going to follow the steps in the guide to create a new API key with the right credentials, the correct account that we need to use, and this API key is going to be used to access the items in Sitecore through the various services used by JSS. So there's the layout service and content service and dictionary services, and as I understand it, all of these use the API key. So within the core database, we're going to create ourselves a new item. It doesn't actually matter what the name of it is, and then we're going to follow the directions in the guide for the allow controllers and then the impersonation user. So allowed controllers, we need to set it to star by default. and then also we need to set the impersonation user. So we set that to extranet anonymous. Okay, and then we can copy our API key because we need that for testing later, and we also need it for when we configure our app. So you can see here the URL for testing the content service to make sure that JSS server's installed correctly and it's returning our content. So this will return a JSON representation of the of the item in Sitecore, and you can see there it's responding correctly with the details of that page. So we know that everything's working correctly. Okay, so now that we verified that everything's, JSS server's installed correctly, we can move on with the configuration steps. So the next step is to create ourselves a binding in IIS and also add a host entry for that. So just like any standard app, basically open up your host file and add in the domain. So we're calling our app myapp.dev.local. And then also in IIS we need to add our binding, so we have the same binding. And then once we've done that, then JSS and Sitecore later on we'll be able to use that to route to our JSS application. Okay, so the next step is to actually install the JSS Sdk. So we're using npm to install that. So we created a folder in C. That folder can be anywhere, it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to run the command prompt and run the npm install on the Sitecore JSS package. So that's going to download the toolkit SDK and install all of the required modules that we need. So that's JSS now installed, so we can start using it. And then we can do a quick check just to using the help command just to make sure that JSS is installed. And it is, so we can see that it's working fine. Right, now we're going to create our app. So we're going to use a template. JSS ships with a number of different templates, and you can just you can create your app based on one of those sample templates. So we're going to use the basic React sample template here, and we're calling our app my app. So that is going to use the basic sample React template that's in GitHub that Sitecore JSS team provide, and it's going to create me a new app based on that template. So it's downloading everything now, installing that to that folder where we're running the command line from. Okay, that means it will work properly when you get the JSS logo. Okay, so we now have our app installed, but at this moment in time this is disconnected from Sitecore. We can test it, we can check that it's working correctly by running JSS start command. So if we run that, that will run it disconnected from Sitecore on localhost. It should open up a browser window for us, and yeah, we can see everything's running correctly, and that's our app running. But it isn't currently at this time pulling any content from Sitecore. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to connect it up to Sitecore. So we're going to run the JSS setup command in the command line. And that asks for the folder where we've installed our Sitecore 9 installation. So we just need to grab that path. So I'm copying and pasting everything in here just to be sure that there's no mistakes made. Next we are asked for the URL of our Sitecore 9 instance, so we can copy and paste that in as well. And it knows where to get the content from for our app. And then finally we're asked for the API key that we created earlier. So you can grab that from the core database, or if you've still got it open like I have there, and put that in. And I can't remember whether you need the brackets or not. It definitely works without the brackets, but something to check. Okay, and then finally now we need to set the permissions on the folder, config folder in Sitecore installation, so that JSS can copy the config from our app over to that folder, and that basically makes Sitecore aware of our JSS app. It patches in a site definition for our app. So you can see now there's nothing there, there's no config file currently within Sitecore, but when we run this next step, the JSS deploy config step, this will then create that file within Sitecore. So it's done that now, but we need the permission set to allow it to create that file. So we can look back in there now and we can see that it's created that config file. Right, so we now have one final step to do, which is the deploy package step. So this JSS deploy package will actually grab all of the configuration for our JSS app, our JSS components, manifest file and everything, create an update package. It's building an update package now for Sitecore ship to use, and then it pushes that package into Sitecore using Sitecore ship, and actually creates our app architecture as items in Sitecore based on the files in our JSS app. And there we go. So that means that our package is complete, it's deployed into Sitecore correctly. So we can now verify that everything's there. We can go to our app URL. So we can go to Sitecore and log in. And we can then check that our app's uploaded correctly in the content editor. And you can see our structure there for our homepage item and our welcome page component. All looks good. And then also then we can actually check the app itself, so we can check that loads correctly, and you can see it's actually, this is our app now running, connected to Sitecore, pulling content from Sitecore, but actually running as an app. And then we can update the title here just to verify that when we update it and then publish it, that we see our changes, which proves that our JSS app is pulling content directly from Sitecore. So one thing to note is it needs to be in the publish workflow. So we've just updated the publish workflow there. That can catch you out. Just make sure it's in the JSS publish workflow before you publish it. So it's now publishing that. And then if we go back and refresh our page, we should find, it's updated. Right, so that was showing editing it from Content Editor, but you can also edit the page from Experience Editor. So it's got full Experience Editor support in JSS. Note that it's in the publish workflow already, and then we can add some content this time to the body area, and we can save and publish that in the same way. It's already in the right workflow state, so we should just be able to publish that. And then again, we can refresh the page, and we should see that change. And that's it. That's everything working. So hopefully that was a useful demo, and should help you out with installing JSS and understanding what's required to get it installed and verifying it. Thanks very much.